West Ham make it back-to-back wins for the first time since March 2024, and honestly, it was one of their more comfortable nights this season. A 2-0 victory over Leicester City that never really looked in doubt. The Hammers weren't exactly at full throttle, but they didn't need to be. Leicester? Well, they looked like a team out of ideas, out of confidence, and possibly out of time. From the very start, West Ham looked the more composed side. Leicester, fresh off a 4-0 humiliation at home to Brentford, needed a response. But what they produced was the exact opposite. There was no urgency, no aggression, no real belief. Their passes were sloppy, their movement was slow, and every time they tried to push forward, they looked vulnerable at the back. The opening stages were cagey, with both teams feeling each other out. Leicester had a couple of early half chances, a corner inside the first minute, and a long-range strike from Ndidi that went straight at Areola, but that was as good as it got for them. West Ham, on the other hand, took their time to get going, but once they settled, it was clear who the better team was. The breakthrough came in the 21st minute, and it was a gift for the birthday boy, Thomas Soucek. Aaron Cresswell whipped in a teasing cross from the left. Kudus reacted quickly. His close-range shot was parried by Hermansen, but the ball fell perfectly for Soucek, who couldn't miss. 1-0 West Ham. The London Stadium erupted. What a way to celebrate turning 30. And let's be real, Leicester's defending was awful. Vestergaard and Faes were caught ball watching, Hermansen's save was weak, and there was zero reaction to the loose ball. It was all too easy. At that point, you expected Leicester to wake up, to show some kind of fight. But nothing. They had no response. West Ham continued to control possession, probing, stretching Leicester's defensive shape, and winning the physical battles in midfield. Bowen started drifting into dangerous areas, Kudus looked lively, and Ward-Prowse kept things ticking in the middle. Then, on the stroke of halftime, West Ham doubled their lead, and this time, Leicester did all the work for them. Corner from Ward-Prowse was flicked towards goal by Bowen. It might have been sneaking in, but Vestergaard got the final touch, deflecting it past Hermansen and into his own net. A complete disaster for the Foxes. 2-0, and game over before the break. Let's talk about Leicester's body language at this point, because it was telling. Heads dropped, shoulders slumped. Some players glanced at the bench, almost waiting for someone to save them. Van Nistelrooy, standing there on the touchline, just shook his head. Meanwhile, West Ham walked off at halftime in full control. They weren't at their absolute best, but they didn't have to be. They did what good teams do. Take advantage of mistakes, punish poor defending, and manage the game with confidence. And here's a stat that Leicester fans won't want to hear. West Ham are unbeaten in their last 35 Premier League games when leading by 2 or more goals at halftime. The last time they threw away such a lead? May 2011, against Wigan. So, with a 92.3% live win probability, there was only one direction this match was heading. Second half. West Ham came out knowing the job was practically done. They didn't need to take risks, didn't need to force anything. They just needed to be smart. And that's exactly what they did. Leicester saw more of the ball, but it was completely meaningless possession. They passed it around midfield, tried to work it wide, but there was zero penetration. Every cross was easily cleared. Every long ball was mopped up by Kilman or Todibo. Every time they looked to build some momentum, they wasted it with a sloppy pass or a poor decision. There were a couple of moments where Leicester almost threatened. In the 67th minute, Mavididi swung in a dangerous cross, but Emerson made a brilliant diving clearance. Seconds later, Justin had a shot blocked inside the box. But that was as close as they came. West Ham, on the other hand, should have put the game to bed in the 79th minute. A lightning-fast counterattack, 3-on-2. Bowen drove forward, the Leicester defense completely exposed. He laid it off to Ferguson, and it should have been a goal. Allowing Winks to make a last-ditch block. Great defending from the Leicester man, but Ferguson should have done much better. Even with that miss, West Ham never looked in danger. They just kept ticking the clock down, making smart passes, slowing the game, keeping Leicester at arm's length. Leicester ran out of ideas. Their frustration grew. A few late challenges crept in. Soucek was brought off in the 90th minute, getting a standing ovation from the home fans. What a night for him. And after 3 minutes of injury time, the final whistle blew. West Ham 2, Leicester 0. A comfortable win. A professional win. And for Leicester, another miserable night. So what does this mean for both sides? For West Ham, this is a huge step in the right direction. 2 straight wins. 2 straight clean sheets. Back-to-back wins in the league for the first time since March 2024. This is the kind of form that keeps teams in the league and builds momentum. They're now 15th, 13 points clear of the relegation zone. There's zero chance they're getting dragged into the battle at the bottom. And Graham Potter deserves credit. It hasn't been a smooth ride, but he's finding the right balance. The team looks structured, disciplined, and efficient. If they keep playing like this, they could start climbing the table instead of just surviving. For Leicester, though, this is disastrous. 11 defeats in 13 games under Van Nistelrooy. 7 straightaway losses. 5 points from safety. No clean sheets away from home all season. It's going from bad to worse. And worst of all, they don't look like a team that believes they can turn it around. They've lost 33 of their last 34 Premier League games when trailing by 2 or more goals at halftime. That's a team that crumbles under pressure. Van Nistelrooy needs a miracle. Leicester have Chelsea away next. Good luck with that. Then it's Wolves, Newcastle, and Liverpool. It's hard to see where the next points are coming from. West Ham, meanwhile, have Everton up next at Goodison Park. Another winnable game. If they can keep this momentum going, they could end the season comfortably mid-table. So to sum it all up, West Ham, in control, in form, climbing. Leicester in trouble, in free fall, sinking fast. And on tonight's evidence, they deserve to be where they are. That's all for this one. Thank you for watching. This has been Across the Pitch. Over and out.